Hello and welcome to Anime Worth Watching, and in this episode I'm going to be talking about one of the most highly acclaimed anime of all time, Cowboy Bebop. This show first gained widespread attention when it was aired on Cartoon Network's Adult Swim block back in the early 2000s. From there, the anime went on to become a huge hit with pretty much everybody. Casual anime fans loved it, hardcore anime fans loved it, even people who weren't into anime before ended up loving this show. That's how popular it became. It became so popular that some people might be wondering, well, what's the point of this video if it's so popular? Everybody should already know about it, right? Well, the thing is, Cowboy Bebop was made over 15 years ago at this point. There are probably a lot of anime fans around today that weren't even born when Cowboy Bebop first started airing on Adult Swim. So hopefully this video will help introduce Cowboy Bebop to a new generation of anime fans, and hopefully this will also reintroduce it to a few people that might have forgotten about it at this point. The story is set in the year 2071 and follows a group of bounty hunters as they travel the galaxy, going from planet to planet, pick up whatever bounties they can in order to survive. The interesting thing about the storytelling in Cowboy Bebop is it's primarily told in an episodic format. There is an overarching story which follows the main character Spike Spiegel as he attempts to face his violent past. However, this only takes up about 5 episodes of the entire 26 episode series. The rest of the episode have completely self-contained stories, new characters, new setting, and this helps give a ton of variety to this show, which keeps it interesting. The episodic format also means that people can jump in at any time and they can enjoy it just as much as somebody who's been watching from the beginning. The final thing that I need to touch on when talking about the story of Cowboy Bebop is the ending. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but I have to say that Cowboy Bebop has probably the most memorable ending in anime that I've ever seen in my entire life. My jaw was literally on the floor when I saw it for the first time. Because the story of Cowboy Bebop takes somewhat of a back seat, this allows the show to focus on its unique cast of characters. The previously mentioned main character Spike Spiegel comes off at first as very sarcastic and very cocky. However, you very quickly realise that he does have a kind heart and he genuinely cares about the people around him. He's also a very skilled martial artist and can beat pretty much anybody in melee combat. The next character is the seductive Faye Valentine. Faye often uses her physical appearance to manipulate the people around her in order to get what she wants. However, she is also competent in combat as well. Similar to Spike, Faye has somewhat of a sarcastic and cold personality. However, as the series goes on, she does soften and begins to show compassion for a lot of members of the Bebop crew. Jet Black is the captain of the Bebop and is by far the most logical character of the group, and this can cause him to get into quite a few arguments with the more impulsive characters like Spike and Faye. The final member of the crew is Edward, who is an eccentric hacker prodigy. Because of her very eccentric personality, she is at the centre of a lot of the show's comedy. To me, the characters are the main reason why I enjoyed the show so much. They all have fantastic chemistry with each other, they bounce off each other really well, and this leads to a ton of great moments. I especially liked how this show took time to explore its characters' backstory, like in the episode My Funny Valentine, which focuses on Faye's backstory. These kind of episodes give you a much better understanding of the characters. You get to learn who they are, who they were before they became a bounty hunter, and why they decided to take bounty hunting on as a profession. All of the characters have very interesting and quite heartbreaking backstories. I even found Edward's backstory to be quite tragic, even though it's played up for laughs. In terms of visuals, Cowboy Bebop was very much ahead of its time and it still looks fantastic even by today's standards. The animation is fluid and seamless, and this means the action scenes look great and are really fast paced. The art style of Cowboy Bebop is also beautiful and really fits the futuristic setting they were going for. This anime really set the bar high for how good anime could look back then. Another department where Cowboy Bebop set the bar is the sound. The soundtrack, which was composed by the now infamous Yoko Kanno, consists primarily of jazz tracks. I'm actually not a jazz fan at all, it's just not really my thing. However, I couldn't help but fall in love with this soundtrack. It's that good and really fits the setting of this show. The dub also deserves special mention, as back when this anime came out, dubs were very much hit or miss, usually miss, and that is because the standard for dubs were a lot lower than they are today. In an era of low expectations, it's so surprising that the dub turned out to be so good. It has fantastic performances all around, especially from Steve Blum, who voices the main character Spike Spiegel. In terms of negatives, there honestly aren't that many to talk about. The only one I can think of is sometimes the show can get a little bit goofy. Now this show usually does a fantastic job of balancing drama and comedy. However, there are a few times where the comedy can get a little bit overbearing, at least for me. For example, there's an episode where all the characters are tripping out on magic mushrooms, and I found that this episode had an overabundance of comedy, and because of that, I didn't like it as much as the others. However, this really is a nitpick in the grand scheme of things. Overall, I would recommend this anime to pretty much anybody. As I said before, everybody loved this show when it first came out, including my dad, who isn't a big anime fan at all. In fact, he only really likes two anime, Cowboy Bebop and Initial D. If you'd like to watch this show and you live in the US, it's available for streaming over on Funimation's website. Funimation has also released the DVDs, which are available pretty much anywhere. Or if you're Australian like me, you can pick up the DVDs from Madman Entertainment. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have any feedback, feel free to leave a comment. And if you like this video and want to see more, feel free to subscribe as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.